Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us and welcome to today's program. My name, as usual, is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari, and it's good to have you all here on the program. And to everyone who will be watching us across the globe now and after the show, welcome. So, today, as usual, we're streaming on three destinations on Shagalinku TV YouTube page, on Shagalinku TV Facebook page, and on my personal page Ambassador Emmanuel Kabari. So if you're joining us right now, we'll also ask and plead that you also share the video so that share the link so that others can join in the discussion. So today I have a very wonderful, in fact, I've been trying to reach him for a while, having knowing that everyone who knows or everyone who's close to me seem to watch Tinsel a lot. And then there's this sound they make at that particular time when they want to show the office scene where I think it's Lide Cole or something or Madam Sheila, but their office, yeah, once they make that sound, everybody in my house gathers and say, hey, let's hear the latest gist of the office, who came late, who they gave query, who didn't meet target, and all of that. And here he went, always having one form of something to remember and all of that. And then my younger ones were like, won't you interview this Oga for us and let's see? And voila, we're here today. So, um, I won't even want to start reeling out all he's been doing. He's a man of many, 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 many parts. To think that he's also a singer, a model. Of course, you know him as an actor, and so many more. Alanti also added a presentation and hosting to his um, basket of many things. Abba bros, now you want to collect everything. No let you waka come. Anyways, let's welcome happily a friend from another mother or a brother from another mother. Hi Femi, what's with this hat?
It's my signature look. Peace, y'all.
For your mind, south south. Thank you so much for joining
Hi,
us.
hi. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate
Yeah. So
this.
when the flyers came out, everyone was like, "Oh, Femi is here. Femi is here." And to think that you've done a couple of movies before now, Dilemma and a whole lot. I will start the usual way I do when I ask maybe entertainers and all of that how they started, because the starting point is always very important, especially in this life now where young people just want to blow in their grammar and people see you and don't realize the journey has been way back. So
Yeah.
take us through who Femi is and how you started.
Wow. Okay. So, you know what? In retrospect, when I think about everything that has happened to me in my life regarding my career, I really think it was God that orchestrated everything. Really, like no hanky panky anywhere. I know it sounds cliched, but that's just the truth. Okay, I remember. Okay, music was my first love. I actually started out with music first. I remember when I was in secondary school, I used to go to. I didn't even know I could sing there. I used to go to the school auditorium where the choral group was always meeting. They were always meeting there, for rehearsals. And from my hostel, I could hear the music and their sound. And I would rush to the school auditorium just to watch them perform, just to watch them sing. And at that young age, I was so drawn to music. And one of the days when I was there, the head house mistress, who was in charge of the choral group, just saw me. I think she had noticed that I was always coming there most of the time. She was like, boy, come here. Like, what are you doing? And, I just said I was just attracted to the music. I just love music. And she was like, okay, do you sing? I'm like, uh, I don't know. And then she's like, just sing. And then I remembered I opened my mouth to sing, and everybody was just like, what? a boy having this high pitched soprano voice, and it was crazy. So I think that was the first time I discovered that, I had I could sing, and then after school, of course I joined my church choir, still in the choir by the way, I joined my church choir, and prior to all that, sorry, after all that, I mean, I joined the boy band G Exploits. I was a third of the boy band G Exploits. So that's what kickstarted my career in entertainment, So I started with that, and which was an amazing experience. We toured the world, we signed to a record label. I mean, I had the opportunity of meeting Hollywood stars. It was just an amazing experience, Yeah. So when all that ended, oh, sorry. Yeah, I missed out something. Modeling. Modeling came in between all that. Modeling came in between all that. I was signed to Zam Modeling Agency, with Mr. Bufere. Shout out Mr. Oval. You know, I worked with him for a while, of course. Then acting came along after all that. And the way acting came, it was, I don't know, it was just, I think it was just grace, and how God orchestrated everything, because I remember my first ever audition ever in the movie, television, acting, movie industry was Tinsel. It was actually Tinsel, and I went for the auditions, and I got in. It's funny how how these things work, because people go for auditions over and over. But my first stint in acting, and then it was Tinsel, and I snagged it. And for me, that was a big deal. It was amazing. It was a big deal, and so that started. So after that came, I think it was after then I went for Squatters audition. I was not supposed to be in the cast, but somehow God orchestrated it again, and then I was one of the lead characters for Squatters as well. So yeah, so it was just one level of um, grace and favor to another. That was just it for me. So I've done so many jobs in acting, and of course, I had the privilege of doing music on a professional level, and God has just been amazing and good to me, really.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. So, for those of you watching right now, please do share the video, share the link. Um, join us. You can even see Femi on the screen now in one of the themes. I just played something from that. But quickly before we even go on to ask you more questions, I got this
Yeah.
message here. It's from Lee Frazier. If you see it, you can read and then respond.
Okay. Greetings from the USA. Hello, Lee Frazier. Hello, Lee.
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to the show today. Hello to the Honorable Femi Deolu. Thank you so much, Lee. Thank you so much.
Okay. That's one of our regular from the US. And so if you're watching
Okay.
right now, you
Yeah.
have any question for Femi. Femi is an actor, a model, a singer, Bobo Tibo, like the Yorubas will call it. If you have questions for him, just drop it on the
Lobolobo.
comment section.
So, well,
So,
you know how these things work. When God has given you all these talents, it's always good to
mm,
just nurture and use it, because God is going to ask you, what did you do with all the
true,
talents I gave you? So, yeah,
true. True.
yeah,
So let's talk a little about squatters before I even come to Tinsel. You said it just happened by divine intervention,
yes.
So how do you feel? being on set for squatters?
Okay, so officially, Squatters um, is officially 10 years old. I
Whoa.
remember the first season was in 2012. I remember the first time I went for the auditions, I just went, just like every regular, hustling actor out there. I went for the auditions, and Chinwo Arojolo, the director and producer of the show, I did what I had to do, like just like every other person. And okay, so I went in, did the audition. I'm not sure if I got a call back. I'm not quite sure. But for some strange reason, okay, I think I got a call back. But I was not supposed to play the character Shege that I'm playing right now. So it was another actor. And then so I think they were probably considering me for another character, maybe like some sub lead character, maybe just a one off. And then I went in. So there was a reading that day with the already casted um, lead actors. So I went in that day to read, and so we went in to read just like every other person, and the lead actors were there. So it was like a table read. Everybody's there, you know, and so we read. And after the whole thing, Shimaro, which is the director and producer, just said afterwards, just let me you're going to be playing Shege. I'm like, what? Like, how? Because this was somebody who was like, already prominent in the industry. And I was like, why is he not playing the character? You know, just like I said, divine intervention. I got in, and that was how I got in. And going by your question, how do I feel? It's a family now. So every time I get on the set of Squatters, it's I feel very relaxed. I feel like, oh yes, these are my people now. My people with this now. So we've been doing this for 10 years now, and so Shimaro Jolie is like a brother to me. Big Tony, like big brother. Everybody on the train, on the cast is the crew. It's always a warm feeling every time I get on the set of Squatters. And then it's such a good feeling because every time, because a lot of people know me on the show and know me with the show. So maybe when I'm out there going somewhere and I'm like, and then it's I'm like, oh my, especially kids, children, they love the theme song. They love the theme song. So, see that shake, and all I know that's the voice. It's good. It's good. I like the whole idea of that, the idea that we are cutting across, you know, adults watch it, uh, children, young adults, cuts across to everyone. And it's something, feel good show, it's a comedy show that people can just watch, laugh, and feel good. Yeah.
Okay, so I got this other message here, and it's from Oche Courage. It says, watching from Kano State, looking forward to learning more from Mr. Femi. Hey, you have a mentee now,
Yay.
Femi.
Well, like I would always tell people, just always pray. Pray like your life depends on it. And put God first in everything you do. Work hard. You cannot, you know, o- overemphasize that. Work hard, nurture your craft, nurture your skills. If you're a singer, um, do your vocal exercises, develop your vocal skills. If you're an actor, sharpen your skills. Um, get materials to help you grow, to help you develop. You know, like one of the things that that I actually do. I make sure that at least every now and then I rehearse scripts, monologues, just to help me grow, as an
Mm,
actor. And of course, network. You have to network. In short, I think that's even probably the most important thing lesson you would learn. Network. network because this is our industry. You know how they go now.
True.
Uh, na man where you know go help you. So
True. True.
so it's always good. So the person you know might know somebody that knows somebody that is working that project that
True.
that may just open
Put a
doors for
word.
you.
Yeah.
So you never can tell. So just be good, work hard, trust God, and yeah.
Mm. Well, so you've heard it, Oche. Your mentor said you should work hard and just learn your craft. So thank you so much,
Yeah.
Oche, for
And
joining. Yeah.
pray, trust God, put God
Pray,
first in
pray,
everything you
oh,
do.
pray. Ah, they know they do
Yeah,
shakara for
so pray
prayer.
like your life depends on it, man. Ah.
True. I was at the airport this morning. And by the way, we're streaming live from Lagos for everyone watching us. So you can see it's a different setting. So I was at the airport this morning and there's this regular prayer I join every morning, no matter where I am. And so I
Okay.
just stood at the corner, just put my earpiece and I was just praying. So sometimes you just find people who think it's old fashioned,
And I like those platforms because it helps you pray, especially if you're like a lazy Christian. Sometimes you
True,
just feel
true,
lazy and you just tune in, and you just find out that when you tune in, you catch the fire, and then you just develop the fire to pray as well. So yeah, it's very
true.
very cool. Yeah.
True. So we have this on the screen. Femi, you might want to read this and then I'll ask you the next question.
Okay, this is for my friend Rosemary. Hi, Rosemary. Kudos, Femi. Kudos, Femi. Proud of you. She's a minister. She's a powerful
Mm.
minister of the gospel. She's
Mm.
amazing. Look her up on YouTube. Look check her out on
Instagram.
YouTube. Rosemary Music. She's amazing, amazing, amazing. Yes.
We'll bring her.
Yeah. So
We'll bring
thank you,
her someday to
Rosemary.
sing for us.
Sorry,
We'll bring her someday to sing for us.
I can hear you.
I said we'll bring her someday to sing for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. She's a powerful minister of the gospel. You should check out
Oh,
on YouTube. Yeah.
oh wow. Oh wow. Okay. Thank you so much, Rosemary. So in case you're watching right now, please share the video and all of that. And we have Femi in the house, and he's talking to us on his career, his sojourn, and everything. If you want to also ask him questions on anything concerning his career, even he told us he started off also with modeling. So I'm going to ask him a few questions concerning modeling, before I even delve into. I still want to hear that gist of that thing, Cello. That particular office scene, I still must hear it because if this interview finishes without
With real studios, there's always one drama or the other. Hey, hey, hey. There's always one drama or the other. And the way the show is actually fashioned in ways that, especially with the real staff, you know, they're like gossip mongers. So when there's like something going down in the office, everybody just gathers in the conference room or the workstation, and everybody's like, "Hey, did you hear what Madam Lady did this today?" There's always one drama or the other. Oh yes, Dilemma. That was another project I loved. I did totally love.
So tell us about that, and then the role you played. It's kind of for people who've known you on Squatters, will see a different you on Dilemma. How did that go for you to start with?
One thing I always say is that, as an actor, you have to be versatile. You have to be able to play any character because that's the whole essence of acting. Bringing characters to life. It's a form of art. You're expressing emotions and characters and giving them a voice, bringing them to life. Dilemma is another project. In retrospect, when I think about my journey in acting, it's another project I know that God was involved. There's nothing anybody can tell me God was involved because, you know, I was not part of the initial cast of Dilemma. Um, the way I even got on it was it was weird because okay, so I worked with Anis Holloway, who's one of the directors for Dilemma, and of course he's married to the EP of the show, Uche Jimba, and so I worked with him on an African Magic project. Eve, it was just a one-off, just one episode. I was not even like prominent or anything, and I was even reluctant going on that project because it was a one-off, and I hate playing one-offs, and it was not. But the character was strong, with just one episode, but it was strong. So I decided to take it. I just felt the prod and the push to take it, so I took it, and I got on it. And when I did that, everybody applauded, my performance, and the director was like, "Oh, dude, you're amazing, you're good," So we became friends after that, and we kept in touch. So when you know how it is in the industry now. You look like, "Ah, bros, please, when projects come up, just let me know." And so when they were about starting this dilemma project, he told me about it, and it was like, so he just told me to send him my info, my information, and my details and everything. And so they got back to me, and then I think I sent him my monologue, and that was it. And so it was just like that. I could send my monologues. They reach out to me, "Are you free from this time to this time?" Yeah, and so I got on the project, and it was supposed to be something. It was just supposed to be for a month because the contract I initially signed was for a month. You know, uh, and then I got on it, and God's intervention came along again, and then my contract was extended, and then I did the whole 260 episodes. I shot till the last day. It was just amazing. The favor, the mercy of God. Yeah, my amazing casts. Um, that's another experience I am grateful to God for. You know, and the character I played is something I never thought in a million years I could pull off because the character is deep. It's a very, very complex character, a very, very erratic character, very, very erratic and bold and strong. And so, which I'm like the opposite of that character. So, but then I remember the first day on set, I just prayed. I said, "Father, Lord, please just help me deliver this character." And voila, I got on set, slipped into character, and the rest is history. So playing UV Upper Volta was just an amazing experience. I of course when people talk about the show and reviews of the show, they always talk about my character. Oh my God, your character. And I go out there and people talk about, oh Femi, I mean your delivery of that character we've never seen in that light before. I mean from your previous works. And that's how it should be. You should grow constantly, do jobs that challenge you, play characters that put you on your toes. Yeah, and that's what playing Upper Volta UV on Dilemma was for.
Yeah, so from Fraser again from the US, kindly read this and
Okay, from Lee Frazier again. I feel your life energy as you tell your life experience. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, my life source, my life energy has been God, really has been God, and I'll be doing a lot of disservice if I do not tell how God has helped me, how God has been for me over my life over the past years and even till now. Yeah.
mm. Okay, so let's come a bit closer. How was growing up like for you, family-wise, mother, father? Who,
Okay.
who supported more, so to say? Because sometimes when I
Uh
interview people, they will say their mom first knew of it, and then father later, or father knew of it, and then mom later, or some will say go to school first before you do anything. So, how was your family's supportive mechanism growing up?
okay. Initially, my family. I, you know how how the Bible will say if the prophet is not celebrated in his own city. Yes. So initially, my folks, my family members were not so keen about me doing this entertainment thing. Actually, I actually read computer engineering in school. I read computer engineering in school, you know. So I remember those times when I used to go for rehearsals, go for music and choir rehearsals, and like, you've gone again, you've gone again. You should be paying attention to your studies, and all those things, you know. But I think the first person that was ever supportive of my career was my older sister, my big sister, because she understood. Um, yeah, shout out to Auntie Nate. Yeah, so initially, and growing up for me, I was a quiet kid, very, very quiet. You know, no wahala, no stress. I don't talk much, quiet. Even when I was in school, most of my old schoolmates would tell you that our Femi is this very, very gentle, quiet, calm kid. I was like that. I think maybe because now I'm more matured, so I can, so I'm like on the fence between introverts and an extrovert. So I'm an ambivert. So growing up, I was very quiet. So when all these traits started showing, I mean, it was kind of, oh, this quiet boy, how come he's into acting? How come he's on stage performing? You know, yeah. So yeah. So it was just kind of, it threw them off. It threw them off. So, but in my family, uh, it was not always so rosy. I mean, they were not, especially my folks, my parents, were not always so supportive. I think it's now that they understand, oh, that, Elaine, Kadareng, this is his life, and, you know, like that. So, but now they understand, now they're supportive, uh, because, I mean, my folks go out and say, we saw your son on TV. That kind of stuff. We saw your son on that. I'm like, oh yeah, oh, really? Oh yeah. And then of course they've seen a couple of my works on TV as well. Maybe when they're flipping through the channels, now. But it wasn't always like that. They weren't always so, keen about it initially. But of course they understood that, okay, so there's times, they would just copy some like, okay, yeah. But it was tough at the beginning. I remember almost not how I view. Okay, I remember the first trip outside of Nigeria that I had with G Exploits. I did not tell my parents. I was supposed to be in schools in the university then. So we went to essay, short videos, and my parents did not know till I got back, and then they saw it on the newspaper. They saw my face like G Exploits shoots blah 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 in South Africa. And they were like, Femi! What is this already? You went all the way to South Africa. Are you out of your mind? It was so dramatic. I can never forget that day because I was supposed to be in school. I knew if I told them I wanted to go, they would not have allowed it. So those are parts of the sacrifices. But it was crazy. There's so many things I did, for the love of this passion, for the love of singing, acting, modeling. There's so many sacrifices. There were so many things I had to pay for, because I understood that this was my life and this is just me. I don't see myself doing anything because I would probably just feel miserable. But entertainment for me is life. Yeah,
Mm.
art is
So,
life.
yeah. So let's even come to how family can be supportive to children. Um, you just might be
Yeah.
lucky or very passionate to just follow your dreams. there are a lot of young people out there who had wished they had more support from their family. What's the place
Yeah,
of family, parents, mothers,
yeah,
fathers in helping tilt their children? I know there's this craze for you must go to school, you must have this in case life happens, you have something to fall back at. But
yeah.
parents
No,
are
no, that's
also
important.
forgetting.
That's very important. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But parents are forgetting that God could use anything to bless a child, you know. I mean, look at files today and all of that. So imagine if the father had insisted that, oh no, it must be law, it must be this. So what can parents do
yeah.
coming from your own experience?
No, no, no. See, I will always say this as an individual, irrespective of you getting support from family or not, follow your dreams. Chase your dreams. Chase your dreams. They will level up later when they see that you're
Mm,
serious about it and you're making a headway. Chase your dreams. Now, about parents that have children who are into entertainment, I think I don't know much about parenting because I'm not a parent yet, but I would advise that you know your child is your family, is your gift. God gave you that gift, and in that gift, there are other levels and layers of gifts. Do you get what I mean? So the least you can do is be supportive. If they choose to be supportive and then guide them. That way they cannot make wrong choices, you know, go the wrong path because they know that you are with them. You understand? They know that you're with them and you're supportive. So whatever you do as a parent, and I always say this, it's always good to discover these talents very early. So if you notice that at a tender age your child has this affinity for the arts, for entertainment, quickly, quickly start nurturing those abilities, that those talents in them, because the earlier the better. But because by the time they're grown, they are masters at what you know at these talents, and they stand out quickly, and then they make headway, earlier and faster and quicker. Yeah.
Let me take a couple of messages and then come back and still ask Femi some more. Just in case you just joined us, the program is Shagalinko TV, and we have our special guests for today, Femi, who is an actor, singer, presenter, model, everything rolled in one. Okay. Femi, I got this one here. Oche Courage is asking, how did you start your modeling career and where?
Okay. So yeah. So this is another story of God's divine intervention. I followed my friend to his agency. He he was uh, okay Uzoshi, who was like a third of the boy band exploits. He was already signed to the modeling agency, ZA modeling agency. So I think one of the days after rehearsals, it was like I was going for uh his modeling agency meeting. And I was like, oh, you model? And I was like, yeah, yeah. So like, do you want to come along? I was like, yeah, no problem. I mean, we finished rehearsals. I didn't want to go home, so like, let's just go. And so I went with him, and at first glance, the agent, Mr. Ogo Buferi, just was like, "Oh my God, you definitely passed for a model," and voila, I got signed. I
Yeah.
joined the agency. So that's how I started my modeling career. Uh, I just followed a friend to his agency, and that was it. So yeah, I started my modeling career in Lagos, in Surulere. Uh, yeah, so that's basically it.
Okay. I got this other one here from Osita Ozon Naji. You might read this and respond.
Okay, so how has the government supported the creative industry in Nigeria? Um, well, I know with the Actors Guild, Directors Guild, they've been, privy to a lot of funding from the government, but the issue has always been, you know, that funding getting to the grassroots, getting
Mm.
to the right people, getting to the people it should get to. So the government supports because those are the agencies, the agencies they recognize, you know, the Actors Guild and all the skills and all this. So they whenever there's like a support or a funding for the industry, creative industry, those are the people we go to. And then somehow there's a break in transmission, there's a break in the chain. Somehow they get the funding, uh, but then what do they do with the funding? Do they do projects? Because initially it was the problem of, the government wasn't supporting the creative industry. They're always paying attention to the other industries, to petroleum, to this, to that, and then the creative industry was at the bottom of the chain, But okay, so I remember with President Goodluck Jonathan, there was a forum where, they reached out to the creative industry, and they, I mean, they got help, support, funding, and but then how were those? How was the funding spent?
Yeah.
How did it go around the industry? Who were partakers of whatever was given? So that's the problem. These agencies, what's going on? And of course with President Buhari, because I've spoken to a few of my colleagues, and they always say, oh yeah, that there's been, some support from the government, even with this regime as well. But then, who are those getting it? Who are the people getting it? Who, what projects did they use those funding for? So that's the big question. Yeah, but yes, we get support every now and then
Mm.
from the government.
I think, and also as a writer, I think government needs to be more visible, in terms of the support. They might be doing things on the ground that people may not know, but it has to be visible.
And then the
Um,
industry is growing. I mean, with this, emergence of streaming platforms like Netflix, Amazon Prime here, so there are loads of opportunities. You know, there's a lot of attention right now on Nollywood. There's a lot of attention right now for our stories, our content. So this is the best time to invest in
mm,
Nollywood. You get so yeah.
okay. Um, I got this question here. You might just read it and respond. A third time around from our US-based viewer, Frazier. Very funny one, but you can answer that.
How old is too old to act? I'm 71 and retired, but I feel like acting. Trust me, there are always there are always characters for older
Older people.
individuals. You know,
Mm.
it's acting, so it's life, it's humanity. You get that's what acting is. Acting is just playing, giving voices, giving life to characters, and characters range from 0 to 1,000, 0 to 100, 0 to 150. If you're 100 years old and you're still agile and strong and you can play a character for an old person, why not? Why not? So you're not too old to act. At 71, you can. Morgan Freeman is way older than you are and he still acts. So yeah.
Mm. Fraser, I hope you heard Femi say that, that there are always roles, there are always
Yeah,
roles.
of course. It's bringing life to characters, and characters, range from zero. I mean, you see babies in movies and TV
True.
shows, Yeah, so 0 to whatever age, as long as you can do it, you're strong enough to play the character, even at your old age, fine. And you're mentally, okay,
A lot.
that's fine.
Yeah. Osita has another question. I will come back and read that, but let me
Okay.
ask you this so I don't forget. So what would be your advice for actors who are into the filmmaking and the stage play? Because I understand now that a lot of actors want to show their versatility, in
Oh
doing
my
stage
God. You
plays
know
and
what?
all of that.
Yeah, I wish I actually started with theater
Oh,
because you learn so much from theater. I had my first stint in theater in 2017 when I did Sisi Pelebe.
okay.
Now, prior to that time, I'd never done anything stage. I'd never done anything theater. That was my first time. And boy, did I learn. And it was such an amazing experience. It's funny, and this is one thing again, still God. My first theater experience took me to Germany, took me out of the country. You know, we had our first showcase of Sisipalebe in 2017 at the Lagos Theatre Festival. That was my first time ever doing stage. Shout out to Kelvin Mary Ndukwe, who brought me on board of that, production. I met him on one other production, if we're not a project, that's where I met him, was a production manager there. He told me about it then, so it was like, I'm working on this stage production and I want you to be part of it, you know. A year later or 2 years later, he reached out and was like, oh, I'm ready for this now. And that was my first time. And thank God, because the other cast were amazing, fantastic actors. Talking about Chuku Martin, Bumi Shogade, um, Jennifer Osamor, Patrick Duyabo. These are thespians that know their salt, that know their audience. They're fantastic actors. I had the privilege of working with them. You know, Initially, I was scared. I was really, really scared because I was nervous, I was apprehensive because I'd never done anything like that before, ever, you know. And but Kelvin Mary was gentle with me, showed me how to go about it, told me when I learned, was always tutoring, just saying, okay, this is how we should do this is how we should do that. Because I mean, prior to that time, it was just film and TV. I'd never done anything. So I really learned so much. Um, so we had our first showcase of Sister Pelebe at Lagos Theatre Festival at the 2017, and then we had a rerun, because they were like, oh, we should do it again, by popular demand. We had a rerun in 2019, and then Germans came to watch it, and they loved it. They were like, oh, you guys have to come do this in Germany. So um, 20, 2019, we were supposed to go. Um, was it no? Sorry, 2020. We were supposed to go on that
Well,
trip. Of
COVID.
course, COVID happened and we couldn't go. You know, then we eventually went in 2021. And we had our fears because the Germans, performing a Nigerian piece in front of Germans, we were afraid, oh, the language barrier.
Yeah.
We're scared of the language barrier. But funny enough, we went for all the shows we got standing ovation.
Wow.
It was, I was shocked because I was like, and then and the funny thing is that when you're there, like here, when you're on stage, Nigerian audience can be very, very responsive. You know, they laugh, they say things while you're performing. But over there, they are so quiet. While you're performing, you can literally hear a pin drop. You
Mm,
know,
they are
so I
sinking in
think,
everything.
yeah. So I think it's the culture difference. Over here we talk a lot while even things are going on. We're like they laugh, Nigerian audience, Nigerian crowd can do like that. But over there they will pay attention till you're done before they give you your roses or your ovation or
Your
whatever.
flower.
So it was, yeah, so it was like that. So yeah, I hope I was able to answer your question though.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we have
So
this very lengthy one.
So
from
yeah, please
Osita.
always, if you have the opportunity, always start with theater. But then as an actor, they would always say that your career is never complete without theater. So whatever you do, always make sure you dabble into theater, or do something in theater, because it makes your career awesome.
Mm. Okay. So Osita says, do you think that of recent, your colleagues in the industry are no longer being the positive role models and positive mentors they are supposed to be to our young ones?
Okay, so I think this question is relative. It
Yeah.
now depends on yeah, it depends on individuals. Uh, you cannot generalize. You cannot say, oh, some people are not doing their bit in their own capacity to influence positively. Some are, some aren't. Just like every industry, um, you have people who are like the bad sheep. In a family, you have the bad sheep of the family, like they say. It's a cliche, you know. You have the bad sheep in the family, one who's like a truant, you know. But then you have the good ones. Um, so you cannot generalize and say, oh, this particular, you know, guys from this industry are not being positive role models. In my own capacity, I do what I can. You know, I do what I can. So I'll just speak for myself. You know, I'll just speak for myself, and I won't like to generalize on that. You know, we're in the social media age, and because of that, a lot of things go down on social, necessarily not so fantastic, not so great, you know. But then in social media, we have different kinds of people, you know, who pitch their tent and do their trade on social media. You have the good, the bad, the ugly. So it's always like that for every industry. So yeah, we have the good ones who influence positively, and of course we have the ones who are not so, yeah, you know, great influencers. But it's not always fantastic or great to generalize. Some people do their bit.
Mm. And to even think that whatever way they come, they have followers and they have huge base of fans
Yeah,
who just
just
support
like the
them.
good ones still have followers,
True,
you know,
true. Yeah.
not everyone is, not everyone is great. God created us differently. So yeah, different choices, different strokes for different folks. Yeah. You know, it's just what it
So
is.
so Victor Sachs says, "Hi, Femi."
Hi, Victor. These are my people. Yeah. So Victor is a fantastic saxophonist. Victor belongs to my team, Heart Song with Rosemary. So we were like this movement. So we basically just um, push the whole idea of the Holy Spirit's intimacy with the Holy Spirit, intimacy with God, and he's our saxophonist on the team. Yeah. So hi, Victor. So we're
Okay.
so we're a bunch of artists. We have
Wow.
singers, of course. We have instrumentalists. Yeah.
Okay. So we're wrapping up the interview. What are we looking forward to? Do you have new jobs? Osita again here. You could read this one as Osita is appreciating.
Okay. Uh, Osita Uzunaji. Uzuneji. I pray I got your name correctly. Okay. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your questions and your comments. Basically, thank you so much for your very objective, educative, and illuminating answers to questions. Thank God. Thank God I can do that. You know. Thank you so much. And thanks for tuning in as well.
Yeah. So as we wrap up, what
Yeah.
should we look forward to? What's Femi working on? Um, Will you go into productions? I know that is another trend for actors. They move either to
Yeah.
directing or production and all of that. So what are we expecting?
Okay, for Femi, more projects on the way. Look out for my projects coming on all the streaming platforms, Netflix, Amazon Prime. I hope to do content into content creation as well. Share out content on Instagram, YouTube. It's something I'm working on. Um, and of course, music from me as well. Music, music, my solo stuff. Music from me. Yeah, plenty things in the works. Just keep on praying for me and keep on supporting. You know, just keep on doing what you do, basically for me. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so what we do when we wrap up the show, we give our guests a minute or two to appreciate the support system because we know they couldn't have achieved or gotten to where they are right now without
Oh yeah.
friends, colleagues,
Yeah.
organizations, or people basically who support them. So we give them 2 minutes to
Okay.
greet, send shout outs to as many as they
Okay.
can remember.
Okay. My biggest gratitude goes to God. Thank you, Jesus. You know, without God, I would not be where I am. I would not be doing what I'm doing. It gives me the strength, the grace, and the ability to do this. I'd like to say, give a big shout out to everyone who has been there for me. Um, a big shout out to my guys, Sheung, Uyedokun, Okezoshi. The exploits couldn't have been what it was without you guys. A big shout out to Mr. Ovo Guferi. My modeling career started with him. A big shout out to Shinwaro Jologe, uh, one of my first, jobs in the industry. Um, a big shout out to my guys at Think So, you know, Jumoke, Care, Blessing, everyone, production. Thank you so much, guys. A big shout out to Uche Okechimba, to Anis. Big shout out to Anis. A big shout out to my friends Rosemary, uh, Wale Olitubor, Guy, my childhood buddy, supportive. Wale Olitubor, Kunle from school. Thank you so much for being so supportive. Uh, I'm just trying to remember everybody's name. To my pastor, Pastor Ice James. Thank you so much for being a very loving and amazing spiritual father. Uh, to the guys in my choir, Minister Gloria Adeyemi, Fadike, everyone in the choir, you know, God bless you. To my colleagues, my friends, Frances, amazing Frances. Um, uh, yeah, I'm just trying to remember everybody's name right now. But all in all, thank you. I I am really grateful. I'm grateful for the gift of friendship. I'm grateful for the great gift of supporters, support system. I'm grateful to God for everyone God has brought my way, my path in this journey of life. I'm grateful. I'm really, really grateful. And with God's help, greater feats, greater achievements, you know, getting bigger by God's grace. Amen.
Amen, amen. Thank you so much for everything. I really want to thank Femi. I wish we could just go on and on and on, but we probably might just bring you very soon, especially when any of your projects commences. We'll just bring you again to share that with us in the Shagalinku family. I sincerely want to thank everyone who joined us. Thanks to everyone who also sent messages. The videos will still be here for our viewers who are 6, 7 hours different from the Nigerian zone. I know of Jackson in Philippines. A whole lot of our viewers also in Canada and all of that. So the videos will be here to watch. Keep the conversations going. You can still drop your comments or questions for Femi. When we bring him back a second time, we will reel out those questions and all of that. And thanks to everyone who joined us, who sent in messages. I really, really appreciate. So from all of us here in Lagos, like I told you, I'll be here throughout the week. And thank you all so much for finding time to join us. And yes, Femi, thank you so much. In spite of all that you do, very busy, and you still found time to join us. We really appreciate. My name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari, and this is urging you all to stay blessed, stay safe, and remember, whatever you do, touch a life and put smiles on the faces of people. You just never can tell. You might just be the angel, the guiding angel that they look out for. And like Femi has gotten a mentee from Kano, Courage, who wants to also go into modeling. So we might just be linking you guys together and then you just do your mentorship from there. So once again, my name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari. Thank you all for joining us. See you on the other side. God bless you all and have a beautiful, beautiful evening. Bye-bye.